Good morning. Breakfast with Sandy, March 26th. I cannot believe that we are into spring and we are already almost done with March. March is one of those long, drawn out months, especially in New Jersey, that we're changing from the winter weather over to spring. You get a really great day, like 76 degrees, and then it falls all the way back to 55, and we are stuck in that do I bring a jacket or not season. So, as we're entering into spring, for some of you, this is an incredibly busy season, exciting that we are out of some of the winter lull, and now we're going to be able to capitalize on the weather in order to move forward in our business. So, I was thinking about power of relationships and building relationships, a combination of dealing with so many people in sales training, also spending the last few weeks on the road in networking events, and what is the power that is a difference that makes a difference in building relationships. And it's really comes down to a bunch of small incremental steps in order to get people to know that you're genuine. Really, I think that's what it comes down to. I believe that myself, having the relationships I've had with my friends for so many years, has come down to obviously they like you no matter what's going on, because you just have that formidable relationship that doesn't matter what happens, they know it's you, and they understand the different sides and different shifts and having people to relate to. So I think the first point I was bringing up today was being authentic. People appreciate honesty, they appreciate authenticity. Coming from the sales side, they absolutely 100% know when they're being sold to instead of just building a relationship. I look at everything as a relationship build instead of just a transaction. Nobody wants to be just a one-time transaction. We talk about lifetime value of a client, lifetime value of a relationship. I mean, I probably couldn't have made it through some of the toughest times in my life without my network of friends who've been there for me. Nothing is transactional with us. It's always about building a relationship that is about being authentic. And along with being authentic goes vulnerability, right? Having the courage to be vulnerable in situations instead of combative, knowing that, we're not always right, and sharing our thoughts, feelings, experiences to help others to connect with us on a deeper level, knowing that when we share our own experiences, that people feel safe and they are able to share some of the experiences they're going through. Their guard comes down and they're not boxed into a corner. One thing that I always have to work on is active listening. I have so many experiences that I hear others share, and I like to jump on in, but listening more than you speak. And anyone who knows me knows that I talk a lot. But when I am on a sales call or I'm working with someone, I ask a lot of questions, really getting to the core of who they are, and listening to their language helps me to understand how they've developed their thought processes. And, people like to feel heard. They like to feel heard and understood. They like to talk about themselves. When you talk about it, it's about genuine interest. I mean, everyone has something that they're interested in. What are their hobbies? What do they do? I mean, this can be for clients, employees, friendships, personal, professionally. And again, ask a ton of questions. I mean, in the coaching world, we ask a million questions because really I could tell you where to go with your strategy. It's just, it sinks in that much deeper and becomes permanent when you see it for yourself. And a lot of times where there's a mirage of different symptoms we have going on, and we can't create the outcome. So allowing us to ask questions and then you coming up with it on your own is that self-awareness, and I think it has more stickiness. A big one for me is empathy, not sympathy, but empathy, understanding others' feelings, what they're going through, from, again, a genuine space of true care. Like, everybody wants to be cared about, and we don't know what everyone's going through. We talk about this all the time with road rage, or, how people are treating you in the moment. There's always an underlying reason. So having a deep empathy for how we react to others' hostility, I think taking a step back and realizing that we're not the end all be all. Knowing what they're going through helps on a larger level. And then be supportive. I mean, everybody's going through something. This is life, right? Whether it's business or personal, children, aging parents, money issues, whatever it is, everyone is going through life the same way. And we just have to be supportive and offer encouragement. And with that comes along with understanding that there are challenging times and your life might be thriving, but everyone around you is not. So showing deep empathy, especially when we're dealing with anyone who maybe has a crisis. Being consistent. One thing I will say that makes people feel great is consistency. Checking up on people. Yesterday, I was out to lunch, and it was my birthday. Out to lunch, and when we were leaving the restaurant, they handed me a written note. And they addressed it to me. I don't care if it was pre-written and all signed, but they had all the members of the restaurant sign the happy birthday note. And it was really great. I mean, people walked out of there with a thank you card from a restaurant that just served you. And it's just taking the client experience to the next level. And that's building relationships. Will I go back there? Yeah, probably. Right? So what does that look like about consistency and creating that long-term relationship? And these are such, when I think about, strategy and where we need to be and operations and leadership and, how our money moves, it's great. But these are the underlying reasons why people do business with you, or people are friends with you, or how we interact with our family. And just like anyone else, everyone has their own perception of their reality, and we have to match where they are at the moment. So being consistent, following through. If you make promises, keep them, especially on a business level. Reliability builds trust. That's why whenever I'm doing any kind of sales training for service experts and someone says, well, we're always on time and we carry out and perform the services that were required. Well, yeah, I hope so, because that's minimal effort. If you can't show up at somewhere on time or at least have the communication that you're going to be late, then we're going to not be reliable. And being reliable is what keeps us in business. Again, it's all about the client experience. Respect people's boundaries, right? Understanding personal space, understanding when you're pushing people too far, or knowing when they need you or when to back off. And I think that goes a lot with a personal and business too. And we spend a lot of time with our coworkers, sometimes more hours than we spend at home. So understanding people's boundaries and what they've set. Be mindful of different needs. Everyone has a different layer of needs. Some people are more independent, some people are needier, and understanding where their comfort level is and with you jumping in to help. And you may want to do the right thing, but to someone else it's intrusive. So understanding where that boundary is and then not to step across it. Obviously, communication is everything. Be clear, be honest. Most people fail in relationships because of lack of communication. I'd rather over communicate than under communicate. Share your feelings, understand where that is in your relationship, and I think that's knowing someone on a deeper level, but asking how do they like to communicate. It could be as simple as knowing when they're in a bad mood to back off, when they need more love to pour yourself in, or even when they, on the business side, how do you like to be communicated to? Some people don't want the phone calls. Some clients want text only. Some want emails. So a question I often ask is, how do you like to be communicated to? Communication, on a failure of communication, I look at on a business level, and I believe a lot of lost clients are because of not addressing conflicts early. And that's, again, about communication. You're going to be late, call them. The part's not in, give them a call. I would rather over communicate a lack thereof of what we're not going to be able to provide for you than ignoring and it biting you in the butt later on. Obviously, be supportive. And if you are a leader or an owner on this call, be supportive. Celebrate success, right? Share in the joy of others' achievements. It's huge. It goes a long way. New training, make sure everybody says, wow, that was really awesome. Congratulations. baby weddings, like make sure you're sharing when people are hitting different milestones. In the CEO warrior world, we're always looking at targets. Are we celebrating those wins? Right? It's kind of something that I find with a lot of clients and prospects is we spend a lot of time going after what doesn't work instead of catching someone doing great things and then being able to say, wow, that was amazing. You did a great job today, even if it is what's required. Sometimes people just need that pat on the back to be reminded that what they do matters. And if you're leading a business in a leadership role of any sort, it's 100% more effective to catch people doing something above and beyond or doing something that's great, congratulating them, than it is to always be looking for what they're not doing well. Quality over quantity. This one I've thought about because we're focusing on depth. So if you get 5 minutes with each employee in the morning, or you're walking into the office and you're saying good morning, you're sending out your morning text message, it's form that communication of depth. Like, let them know that you really are coming from a place of meaningfulness and not just arbitrary good mornings. People feel it, they sense it. And remember, they're working with you and you're all winning if we're moving in the same direction. So are we being present with our conversations? Are we going home and scrolling on our phones? And that's something that I have to be more mindful of as well, is in the moment. Be in the moment, be present. Make sure that when you're spending quality time, it's without distraction. It does help deepen bonds. I have been victim to this, that myself, saying that I have looked at not understanding that I can do things at once, but I'm not being fully present. So are we being fully present with our clients? And those of you who are still in the truck, you've heard me say time and time again that you're no good to the person who's sitting across from you, they're building a relationship with, when your phone keeps going off and you have to answer a call in the middle of a diagnostic or a kitchen table consultation, because they feel that you're not fully present. We only have so much time on this earth. Let's be more mindful about being fully present. Again, relationships take time, so be patient, right? Understanding that some people take a little bit longer to come around. We don't know their full experience, where they've been, what has been going on in their lives. So we've got to look at having to take time. Some of your best friendships, relationships, partnerships, client relationships come with patience. Not everybody's looking at right away, and the longer that we have to work towards someone, the better the benefit. That's how they buy, or that's how they communicate, or that's their level of boundary of letting someone into their lives. So we need to be extremely patient. And then I think about, on the other side, for something, we talk about your net worth is in your network. How are you building your network around you? And this specifically is on the professional side. I mean, it can be personal. You never know who you're going to run into. They always say that the universe has a reciprocity. What you give is what you get. So are we building relationships where we're giving to someone without the expectation of return, because we know it will return? More of the boomerang effect. So when you're looking at, affiliate marketing, how do I help you help me? And in the client's home, when you're working with a client and you're able to vet out people who do ancillary services, ones that you can't provide, are you building that network that you're giving your affiliate marketing teams jobs, right? They're opportunities. So if I am a garage door guy and I see that someone is struggling with landscaping and I've got a couple people that I know that do really great work, am I giving my affiliate partnership the opportunity to come and meet with the client? It's all about network. It may not happen for you today. Remember, we're not looking transactional. We're looking about long-term relationships, partnerships, and the understanding that if we keep giving and looking for opportunities to give, helping people with jobs, hooking people up with, car mechanics, purchasing cars, realtors, like, you have this amazing network of people around you. How are you helping others to connect? And for sales, it's all about being a master connector and knowing where people are falling short, helping to fill that gap. So building relationships, again, I think takes time. It takes understanding the other person, what their wants and their needs are, how we can help them fulfill that, and in time, things come back. If you shut off your special sauce to anyone and you don't give gifts of love and respect and things that you've learned, then why would you ever expect anyone's going to do it for you? And you can build a truly great sustainable business by building those relationships with internal clients, which is your employees, external, your clients, and again, other people that service the clients that you service in a different way. So today I want you to think about who are the top 10 people that you can go say hello to today, shake their hand, give your business card, find out if there's anything that they're in need of at the moment. And maybe it's not self-serving, but however, you may be able to do something for them today and it will come back. So I hope everybody has an amazing Wednesday. Next week, April 2nd at 5 p.m., the registration link for our next webinar talking about revenue mindset, how to reset your mind for leadership, leads, sales, and growth of your company, coming from an internal way and the mind shifting that's necessary and the identity shifting that's necessary, and to create your true dream build, whatever that looks like for you guys. So I will be hosting that webinar April 2nd at 5 p.m. Looking forward to having you all on. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me at sandy@ceowarrior.com, and I will gladly answer those. Looking forward to seeing you all there, and again next Wednesday. So breakfast with Sandy, and I promise next week I'll have my Yankees or Mets mug. I'm still representing New York, just not in the right season. So everybody have a great day, and I will see you next week.